Welcome to The Brick Factor, a podcast for people who love Lego and business podcasts. Well, today we've got something really, really exciting for you. It's our first episode, and we were joined by Levi Fowler from Fowler Powell, who are basically taking over the North Leeds estate agency. And we talk a bit about how he does this, what motivates him to kind of get up and run his business every day, what made him start, and also how it works working in a partnership together. We built a lovely little house Lego set together, and it was a really, really lovely conversation. So I hope you guys are ready, and I hope you enjoy it. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Assembly Required podcast. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Levi. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
So Levi is from Fowler Powell, and today we will be building a nice country house. Quite kind of representative of the stuff you sell, yeah?
Yeah, it definitely is, but when you say building, you might build it. I think I might get a little bit stuck, but yeah.
Let's see where we go. So, well, Levi, thank you so much for joining us. Firstly, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, just me personally, so Levi Fowler, obviously co-own Fowler and Powell, been going since 2019. Keen or avid football player, I'd say, but five-a-side only. I don't really go any further than that.
Nice.
And big Liverpool fan. For everyone out there who doesn't like Liverpool.
I did not know that about you. Get off my podcast.
Big Liverpool fan, so yeah. Get to go to Anfield every now and again as well. So I'm not just a couch fan. I do actually get out there as well.
Nice.
Yeah, what else do you want to know?
Yeah, well, we'll find out. I've got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So, for anybody, I first kind of came across you when you ended up selling one of my houses.
I did.
Or I suppose it was a B&I connection initially, but yeah. I was really impressed with the way that you approached everything, and that was really great. But tell us a little bit about Fowler and Powell.
So we've been going since 2019. We used to work for another agency that was in the area in Oakwood round here, basically. And for us, they were great at training. Second to them, I can't fault them with regards to that. It's just little things that we wanted to do differently ourselves. Myself and Julian, who's the other half of Fowler and Powell. And we, like everyone, you think to yourself, oh, I can do this better. It's easy, it's just business. Obviously, go out and get houses, sell them, whatever else. Obviously, wasn't the case. But for us, we wanted to come up with our own, I suppose, offering, but the way that we would do things, and it was very much putting the focal point on the vendor and getting them the best possible price we can do, but also giving them the best possible service. Because moving home is so stressful, it was how can we de-stress it, I suppose, as much as we can, whilst keeping quality there in terms of marketing and doing everything else that we can do to promote and push the house even further. So that's how we started. I'm still going on the same way as well. I think obviously as time goes on, we implement more and more. We do extra things that we can do to push the market even further. In terms of video, brochures, so everyone gets a brochure. So it's that changing the feel from logic to emotion when people walk through the door. The video and the social media side and everything else that we do is to promote, to get as many eyes as we possibly can do on the property itself. So we do little things like that as well, but the main thing for us, the reason why we set up was we wanted to do it differently and wanted to focus more on the client's journey and how we can best sell their house, but also de-stress as well, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. I mean, one of the things that really blew me and my wife at the time was the level of service. Yeah. And I think one of the things that's interesting, I'd bought a couple of houses, or bought and sold a couple of houses as you kind of go through your journey of upgrading and going through, but I'd always come to distrust estate agents.
Yeah. We're not the most loved.
Not at all. And one of the things, because it always felt like you were just a number or you were just something. So what was it, there was obviously a really easy thing for estate agents to just be like, oh, well, I'm making money. So houses, especially in the north of Leeds, kind of sell themselves to a certain extent. So what was it that really made you want to go above and beyond like you do?
I suppose the story I had was I remember there was a husband and wife. When I spoke to the wife, really, and she basically had an apartment which she was in negative equity with it. She needed to sell it. She had a few people come to view, had a few offers that were made, but they were always under the asking price. This is at the agency we were at before, and it was really tough for her to be able to accept, because obviously she had to fork the money out herself to top up the mortgage from where it was. If that makes sense. So there was that, and there was a few things that I knew that she could do in the house itself or the flat to make it more presentable to then be able to sell and sell for a higher price. And I wanted to get tradespeople on the job and call around to make it happen, but I was told to leave it and to focus more on the houses that were selling and to get more on and sell those.
Right.
And for me, it didn't sit well. So that was one of the things that made me realise that all of our vendors are people going through their own stuff and their own problems and issues. And I knew that I could do something to help. So that's what really, I suppose, set the fire alight for me to want to go and do it myself. And being able to, or wanting to help as much as I possibly can do, depending on the situation. Of course, everyone's different. I was have the same thing, but I knew I could help directly with that person if I was to get handyman round or someone around to help fix up a kitchen and change little things, because she could afford to do that, but couldn't go and accept, say, 10,000 less. So that's what it was for me. That's what made me then want to do all I can for everybody, regardless of their situation, to help them move forward. That's where it came from. That's how it started.
I think it's really interesting. It's there's a lot of talk at the moment about, personal PR and the hidden PR. And that's the kind of things that you do that you never expect to get any return from, but may have a massive impact later in your life. Yeah. And I think it's one of the things that I think you do so well, because we you go around Leeds, or you go around and you speak to anybody and they've got nothing but wonderful things to say about you. Yeah. And I love, did you ever realise that that's what was going to happen, or was it just a hunch?
No, it was, it's that whole thing of what goes around comes around, and if you do good and keep on doing good, then of course good things will come back to you, but that wasn't the intention. It was just trying to help as much as you possibly could do, depending on what the person's situation was. And it just started off as that. And it was as simple as that. And it's that whole thing. I know you said we came from the BNI side of things. And before, I didn't even know what BNI was when we first set up. But I remember.
Neither did I.
I remember going to my first meeting, and we rocked up to the meeting, and there was a few people then like, oh, who's invited you? I said, oh, no one. And everyone jumped on us and was like, oh, you can be my guest. And I was like, sure. I didn't get what it was. Anyway, I get now that was because obviously they get points for bringing visitors and whatnot.
Everyone's being so helpful.
Yeah, honestly, it was weird. But anyway, I don't know where I was going down with that. But for me, with regards to the helping people, that's what I was saying. I know givers, gainers, a thing in BNI. That's what we'd adopted, I suppose, quite early on without even realising. It's the fact that as much as you can help other people, yes, it will then come back around to you in some form. So we did that without even realising it, I suppose, and that's always been the thing for us.
I think it's interesting. I think that's where business is going more, isn't it? I mean, again, you've got likes of Stephen Bartlett. I can't believe I'm bringing him again on another podcast. But what he preaches, I think, is so fundamentally true. That, and again, it sometimes feels like why doesn't everybody do this? Yeah, it's be nice or do unto others as those would do as done unto you, or whatever it was my mum said.
I know what you mean.
But you touched upon something really, really interesting. I wanted to explore that a little. You said you kind of shifted everything from logic to emotion. Yeah. Like, what was the thought process behind that?
Well, it's that whole thing of when people come to view a house, they're not viewing the house because they want to buy the bricks and mortar. They're coming for a reason, and whether it's they want to have a playroom for the kids, or they want to have a kitchen diner space, or a south-facing garden, or I don't know, something where they can bring their friends and family around for barbecues and socialise and whatnot. That's how it starts. It doesn't start off with, I want a bigger house. It starts off with the reason why. And that's the emotion side of it. So when you're going to see a house, you start off with logic in terms of the bricks and mortar part of it, but when you walk in and you see that it's got what you want, the emotion comes out. So it's how can we really push more towards the emotion to get people to realize that this is the right place for them because of what they're wanting. So we focus on that, and it's what can we do to really bring that out of them to make them want to buy.
And in what ways do you kind of push that emotion?
Well, the main thing for us is it starts off with the photos itself. So the photos basically are not just regular photos. Yes, of course, you have to take a picture of the room and everything else, but it's in lifestyle images. So it's showing if someone's got the log burner, get that going. You get like a couple of glasses of wine and the tray and whatever else. When you're in the bedroom, you've got like the tray and you've got orange juice and whatever else on it.
Nice.
The kitchen's got the cookbook open. You've got the cheese board out. It's all of that because it's not just the kitchen. It's the place where you're probably going to sit down and or maybe you're going to be cooking and your kids will be doing the homework at the same time. So it's showing that. So it starts off with the photos. Then the next thing for us is it's how we can then give them something so they can walk away with it. So we create a brochure for all our properties so they've got something tangible to take home with them. And then that way, when they're sitting down and discussing all the properties that they've been to see that day, they've got this brochure, which is like an A4 glossy brochure. It makes a big difference again because the emotion comes out with that because they're seeing something, it's something physical, something tangible, and it's got all the photos in there again, the lifestyle images. And then the step again on top of that is the brochure itself. The wording isn't just this house comprises of a 4-bedroom room. You walk down the hallway and you can see that blah blah blah. It's talking about how the current clients or current vendors live in that home and how they do certain things in that home, and it's pulling that out again. So when you're reading it, you can picture yourself there and really see how you can live in that house.
That's really good. So do you spend all night staying up, kind of pulling together wording for particular properties?
I'll tell you this much: you don't want me writing your brochure because I'm not a wordsmith. We've got the correct people in the correct place. It's like the photography. I say again to everybody: you don't want me taking your photos because they will not come out good. So you've got the right people in the right places to be able to do the correct job to make it look its absolute best. So it's not me now.
Fantastic. I mean, again, I'm a big believer in that. You've got to get the right people. I mean, like Felix is filming this because I couldn't set up this camera set up, and he's absolutely incredible at what he does. And I've also found with my business, the less I do, the more successful it is.
For sure.
Which is always good. But going back to those brochures, it's kind of interesting. It kind of builds upon that principle of Apple that Apple kind of pioneered, really, didn't they? In terms of making you go in and to have something physical, touching it, and I think someone was telling me it's 71 degrees or something is the laptop angle that they've got to have it in. So it's just enough that they can see enough of the screen, but enough that they still have to touch it to move it forward.
Right.
And I'm absolutely fascinating in those sorts of levels of marketing because it really works and you buy with emotion, don't you?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So what, again, we kind of touched on, so what really separates you from other estate agents?
It's a really good question. I suppose it's for us, again, not being corporate, it's being able to adjust and adapt to the times, seeing what's needed, seeing what people are asking for and doing it. One of the main things for us is communication. And I suppose it's a good thing that you've not got Julian here because he'd tell me off for starting to tell certain things that I do. He always does, but I'm not bothered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Julian.
So one of the main things I'd say is communication. Yeah. If I ask anybody what's the number one thing you want out of this transaction, other than the most money, of course, it's they want their communication to be spot on. So for us, it's seeing that, and we set up a WhatsApp group. So everybody's able to, at some point, get hold of us. People don't move every single day, so they don't know what's going to happen next. And that's where the stress comes in. If you don't know what's going on now, don't know what's going to go on next, that's when your mind will, I say play tricks on you, but it'll give you ideas of what you think is going on, and it's probably nothing like it, but you'll start to think that yourself. So if we can communicate with someone all the time, then it makes a huge difference in terms of their stress levels and just knowing what's happening at all times.
Absolutely.
So that's probably one of the biggest things, and that's easily, like, anyone can copy that. That's not a big thing at all, but it is to our clients. The other thing is doing what others can't, won't, and don't do, I suppose, in terms of marketing, because again, it's like not everyone will have a video done for their house. We will do. Not everyone will make the brochures because they cost too much. They don't see it as like a good investment, so they won't do them either. Not everybody will even set up a WhatsApp group, I suppose, to get in contact. So it's things like that which we will always do because we see that there's a huge benefit in what people are crying out for. So we'll always do it. But then on top of that, it's little things that not even I realise everyone doesn't do it. But I called an agency, again, not saying no names, but I called an agency the other day and I wanted to book a viewing for myself. And I did, and they literally asked me my name, my address, and that was it. And I'm like, you don't even know what my budget is? I was like, literally got no idea what my budget is. You don't have to even afford the house I'm trying to view or not. And I thought it was strange that they didn't ask me those questions. Because the level of detail we're willing to go through with all buyers to make sure that they're the right people, understand what they want. Because again, yes, we're still salespeople at the end of the day, so we need to be able to sell. So we need to understand what it is you're looking for, how we can best sell to you and everything else. So things like that, which I didn't realise was a thing, is a thing. And then follow-ups, the same agency, nobody called me to follow up, to ask me what I thought about the house, I want to make an offer. And I just thought it was bizarre. I didn't quite understand it. So there's a lot of things like that. And like I said, the market's probably the biggest thing, because the marketing is for us to be able to get as many eyes as we can onto your house. Because I say that it's not an auction, but if you imagine selling at an auction, you want the room to be full rather than empty. So the more people we can get to see your property, to come and view it, the better chance you've got of getting your asking price or above. Because naturally it's more people.
It's really interesting. I mean, do you remember when you sold my house, what it was that swung it? I don't, like, again, you have so many. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Of course I do. I'll never forget that. It was the video tour.
It was the video tour.
And it was because they were... wife couldn't come because she was in London. Husband was here. And the video tour was one of the clearest tours she'd ever seen, to be able to walk around the house. I remember. And
that was, I was absolutely blown away by that, because you think coming from the background that I do, you kind of think these things are standard, but it was the fact that this, the husband she'd apparently seen about 100 properties in the area or something. So very much knew by the time she got to see the video exactly what she was getting. Didn't need to see it, put an offer in before she'd even viewed it. And that was the part that blew my mind, because I understand people ordering online on Amazon, or I bought loads of stuff with Paul Smith in the feed, because it was 50% discount, but I returned most of it. Sorry, returned most of it just to see what it was like. But you're talking spending hundreds of thousands of pounds and on something you're going to live in, and she'd never stepped foot in it.
Never done. Just him and the parents, I remember.
So, I mean, that blew my mind. But in terms of, we'll touch upon work-life balance later, but you say you set up WhatsApp groups. Does that kind of affect your work-life balance? Does that mean you're always on?
A little bit. I've tried to rein it in a little bit over the last, I'd say probably 6-7 months. I go to see a lot of people's houses, you can probably imagine. And I always get chatting. I'm a chatty kind of guy, so I get talking to people and they'll mention about the kids being a certain age, so I'll get talking to them about that. And then the one thing that I always seem to hear from them is enjoy them while they're young. Everyone keeps saying enjoy them while they're young, so I've taken that, like I say, quite literally, and thought to myself, what is it that I need to be doing to spend more time with them? And I've got 2 girls, so 6 and 3 years old. So I've just been trying to do as much as I can. So work-life balance, when I get home, it's more, I'll spend the time with them, and then if anything needs to be picked up, it's after they've gone to bed, and I'll do it. But I like to do as much as I can in the daytime where I physically speak to people, and in the evening I'll say the admin bits. So when they've gone to bed, it's not so much of a big deal to have to call anybody. It's just sort of little things on emails, replying back WhatsApps, whatever it might be, I don't know. But I just do that now instead, so it makes it easier. I get in the ear with the missus, but every now and again it's all right. So that's kind of where it's at. And then I make a big thing of it. So weekends, I do still currently do Saturdays, and if someone was to ask me on a Sunday, then I'll probably still go out as well. But weekends, I make a thing of taking my daughters to gymnastics and to swimming.
Nice.
And then my youngest now is starting ballet, so I'm going to start to do that as well. Just so I've got that time at least. And then when I can do for the rest of the day, then I'll do something else. But that's probably the main bit for me, that I'm like, I want to make sure I'm there whilst I'm at this age to just always be there for them.
It's a really interesting time. I mean, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
What am I?
Yeah.
36.
So, but you're still, in terms of business, you're still really young.
Yeah.
Obviously, you started your own business, really ambitious.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. You only get this time once with your kids, unless of course you want to be a geriatric parent when you're older and do it all over again. But so do you sometimes find that there's a frustrating battle between your ambition and your family life?
I do a bit. Julian is very regimented in the sense of no matter what it is, he's doing it. Like if it needs to be done, he's doing it no matter what. So I take a lot from watching him and seeing him and thinking, and then telling myself it's actually all right for me to do it as well. But at the same time, it's like no matter what, I like to make sure I've got time with the kids and with Lucy as well. Because I still, myself personally, feel like that is important. But I know if there's something that needs to be done, I can't do it for a reason, Julian will do it. So it's having that, I suppose, in terms of the partnership with us two, knowing how we work well together as well. So that plays a huge part, I suppose, as well at the same time.
Let's delve into that a little bit if you want. So what was it that made you want to start with Julian?
I didn't, really. No, all jokes aside. I say this, and I'll say it time and time again. In terms of how we work together, it's kind of a fluke. So we used to work at another agency, I must have the name. We used to work at another agency, and we run this course in terms of training to learn more about business, about sales, about property and everything else, because this other company, like I say, I can't fault them in terms of training. And when we were there, we decided to talk about, should we do this ourselves? It was as simple as that, and we both said, yeah, we should do. And then we just set up. And the reason why I say that we're lucky is because this looks wrong already. Should not be the same height.
Yeah, but you only need if you take that and stick that on top.
Okay. So yeah, cheers. The reason why I say that we're lucky is because for us, we've got a really similar mindset where we both say that in terms of, everyone always asks me about us arguing and do we ever fall out and whatever else. And the thing for us is, if one person feels stronger than the other one about something, then we'll do what the person who feels stronger about it will go down that route. I can't get my words out with that, but it's basically saying that whenever one of us is thinking something, if the other person's not that bothered, then we will do what the person who feels strongly about it. We'll go down that route instead. So that's how we'll always work, and that's how it'll always be for us. And yes, there's been 2 times that I can think of where I had a disagreement, and the beautiful thing about us both is that we just talk it through, and then we'd like to understand the other person's point of view. When the other person's explaining, we're like, oh, right, I get it now. Yeah, you were right. It's as simple as that.
I can 100% empathise because anybody that's listening that doesn't know me, 21 Degrees have got 3 business partners, not just not just 2. So, and one of the things, I was speaking to a member of our team the other day, and he said, it's amazing with you and Zach, because we can sit here and see you two having a conversation we think you will absolutely never be able to align yourselves on.
Yeah.
And then one of you says your piece, the other says your piece, and then all of a sudden you'll be on the same page.
Yeah.
And it is about creating that level of open honesty, trust that's there. And
exactly it.
Yeah, sometimes our arguments are a bit more ferocious than maybe our team wants us to do. Like a recent one was Zach wanted us to get into ClickFunnels, and I just had to put my foot down because terrible tech.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, once Zach understood my reasoning behind it, and then I understood his, and now I'm off trying to find this thing that solves the problem that he's got, rather than it being, being like, oh no, this is the answer. Which is fascinating. So
I remember that one of the ones with me and Julian. I can think of one. I'm trying to think of another one that was recently, because it was recent. That was it. Someone in the office mentioned they went on a viewing and they were told by Julian that they shouldn't mention the vendor's position, because if they do, it can make the person second guess whether or not they should buy it. And I was like, why not? I was like, I don't understand it. And Julian was like, because of this, this, and this, and this. And if you say that someone's going to upsize, then the person who's buying it might think, well, I'm going to want to upsize soon, so why would I want to buy this now? And we were going back and forth for so long, to the point where the whole office basically, like, you could tell they were all listening, but all trying to work, trying to act like they couldn't hear us. And then in the end, we both just said, the best thing to happen is to understand why that person is moving first, point out the reasons why the house fits for them, and you can tell them why the vendor's moving as well, because it makes sense for that person to move into this house for now and that vendor to move into the next house, but find out why they want or why they're moving in the first place. And then from that, we were like, yeah, that's a solution. And then from there, everyone was like, all right, everyone starts clapping and like, all right, thank God you guys wanted to solve it. There was never any worry in my eyes in terms of us being able to come together and understand it, but it was just, I found it quite funny.
I agree. It's one of those things, especially when you're in it. It's like, apparently I've heard, I read Elon Musk's biography, and apparently him and his brother have, had full-on wrestling matches in the Tesla boardroom. And it's like, but they're two brothers, they're used to that. And yes, okay, it's weird in a business context, but when I'm using the example I had with Zach was, me, at the time when apparently people were like, oh, those two going to be able to align themselves. Me and Zach had no doubt that we were going to be able to align ourselves. It's
that's it.
Just bizarre in terms of those, kind of how close you can be to it.
That's it.
So when you decided to start, was it literally just with you and Julian? Oh, right, we should do this, let's do it. There was no, did you spend any time or get any advice about whether or not that was the right thing to do?
So daft as it sounds now, the place where we were, like I said, they had a course, and I asked one of the people who was giving a talk to us at this company what they thought. Daft now, because obviously they knew our director and could have told him straight away, but didn't for whatever reason. But I just asked them what book they would advise to read if you were thinking about doing it, and they gave me the E-Myth Revisited, I think it was at the time. So that's all it was really. There was nothing else to it. It was as simple as that. Didn't get any more advice. Basically told people what we were doing. Got told that we were daft. Well, I suppose we got told we were daft a couple of times, and we got told it's too early for us, we shouldn't be doing it yet. Because we were only at this company for, I was only there for, I think, 2 years. Oh, wow. And there was no estate agency experience before that. So it was quite early. But that was it. Other than that, other than being called daft or doing it too soon, that was it.
Well, that's fair play, mate. I mean, that's a ballsy move, isn't it? Just 2 years experience. No, I can do this myself.
It is now, I suppose, when you think about it. But it just felt right at the time. And for me as well, I had no experience in business. And one of the things I always say to people is I had no real network. All of my friends growing up, none of them, I don't think any at that point owned a house.
Wow.
Literally none of my friends who I've known since I was a kid owned a house. So for me, it was really much like a standing start. And Julian's the same. Julian's from London originally. So again, all of his friends, everyone's back down in London. So again, it was one of those things where we had to go out and actually, I suppose, make friends that were in the kind of types of properties that we wanted to sell.
Wow.
And that's how it was, that's how it worked. But here we are.
So do you think that you kind of were in it just the right amount of time not to learn any bad habits?
Oh no, we still learn bad habits for sure. Yeah, I say, and I need to stop saying this, I suppose, but I say that I'm unemployable.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because I know all the tricks. I know the tricks of why you're late and little things you can make up about being late. I know how to wangle my way so I can get home early, and I've done it all. I've seen it, so I'm unemployable from that kind of point of view. But yeah, you still pick up bad habits regardless. You will always do that. So yeah, you're never too soon for that.
Oh, fair play. Thank you for the honesty.
No worries.
Mental note: don't employ Levi.
Do not hire Levi.
So, being relatively new into business, what were the bits that you really hated?
Admin. Easily, that's an easy one. Well, so like I said, writing blurbs, it's not my forte at all. So I didn't particularly enjoy it just because I knew that I wasn't good at it. So it felt really forced, trying to make everything sound great. I suppose that was it really to start off with that I can think of. It was mainly just that.
I just find it fascinating with, especially when people go into business, because you go into business because you love something, you absolutely love it. And what you don't realise is to really be successful in that business, or more often than not, depending on where you want to go, especially if you want to grow or you want more locations or you want more staff, you've kind of got to stop doing the thing you love.
Yeah.
And start doing finance or marketing or whichever way. So it always makes me laugh that everyone's like, oh, I'm going to start this business because I absolutely love doing this, and I'm like, maybe
there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, if you love doing that, maybe don't start a business. Ouch, sorry.
Yeah.
So is there any advice you'd give to somebody who's looking to start their own business?
Yeah, don't do it. There's just no point. Anybody who's looking to start a business, no, my honest advice is always to do it. Obviously, do your own research, make sure the market you're going into for whatever it is that you're doing, there's a market available for you. But that's probably the main bit for me. Other than that, it's do it. Because I always think that if there's something that you really feel passionate about and really want to do, there shouldn't be anything that stops you from doing it. From my point of view anyway.
100%.
So advice-wise, books-wise, I'd say read a couple of books, understand best ways to do things. A couple of them, I'd say that really worked for us, or for me anyway. It's Built to Sell. Simple book. It's a story as well, so it's a really easy read. But it's literally just about how you can build like your own products no matter what industry you're in. The guy, I think the story's the guy's a logo maker.
Right.
Weirdly, actually, digital marketer, I think. But then focuses solely on logos. That's the one part that he loves and can do really well. So that and the E-Myth as well, which is a big book from what I got told to read. So.
You mentioned that already. That's really interesting. I mean, like your... God, what was it? I had a question that was loaded and it's gone now. What was it you said, the advice? Oh, research the market. Okay, cool. Yeah. I find it really interesting you said research the market, because there's an argument to say, like, is that what you did? Did you research the market? Because North Leeds did not need a new estate agent.
No.
So,
definitely did not.
Again, I find it fascinating because I think that you're kind of living proof that even if you do the research of the market, that then you'd have probably told, oh no, we don't need to do this. This isn't there. But actually, because you came in and started doing stuff in a different way, you just took over.
Well, this is it. So I should elaborate a bit more. It's more, if you're going to start something and you do the research, look at it in terms of what your niche is going to be. If your niche is not available, then there you go. Like, your research shows and proves that your type of, for us, agency isn't out there. Being that personal agent, no one's doing that. So it's more focusing on things like that than anything else. So you will always have, I said, to niche down and have your own thing for you to focus on that makes you different. And then once you've done that, then look at what's out there and then make sure you can really go at it from that and don't deviate from what your plan is. as much as you will want to, just don't deviate, because then eventually the end goal you'll hit your end goal.
That's awesome. Really good advice. And so you mentioned about books there. Are you a big reader?
Yeah.
When do you find the time?
Evenings again, or mornings. My day starts at, depending on when I get up, probably 5:30. So if I go to the gym, it's 5:30, I'll get up. Another book, personal book, The Miracle Morning. So I read that, really good. Just basically says to get up an hour before you would do normally, and his acronym is SAVERS, and it's silence, which is meditating, it's affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and then the last one is scribing, which is basically like writing down. You just couldn't think of another letter. Something so you just call it scribing. But yeah, so it's doing that in the morning to have the best possible start for me. So my reading's either in the evening before I go to bed, or it's in the morning when I wake up before I go to the gym.
That's really interesting. Because so what time do you go to bed if you're getting up at 5:30 every morning?
Very good question, Rory. It differs, to be fair. I try to get to bed for 9, doesn't work.
Wow.
I end up going to bed for now recently like 10. But before it was 11, I just got a little bit more strict with it. So yeah.
Wow. And what are you going to do when your children grow up and they start going to bed at 10?
Who knows? Going to Awkward for a drink.
I'll see you there then.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, who knows? Who knows?
So yeah, what do you do to relax?
Rubbish TV, I suppose. I can watch any kinds of rubbish that's on TV just to switch off. I find it quite tough because of like this point of, I suppose, gratitude. I tend to watch things and look out for a lesson in it. So it can be quite hard for me sometimes to switch off completely. So I can watch, for example, like what's that show? Selling Sunset, and it'd be a thing where I'm actually watching it to see like what they're doing to be good in their business. So stuff like that's quite tough still, but I can watch things like, I don't know, Love Island, I suppose. Guilty pleasure, but I do actually feel guilty when I do watch it. I don't know, anything that's rubbish on TV. And I can also, as well, sometimes I'll read to switch off. It can be any kind of book.
Nice. And do you always read self-improvement books, or are you fiction as well?
No, it's just self-improvement, self-help as they call them, isn't it? But it's always that. I mean, for me, I'm not that bothered about fiction. So it's just always, self-help, understand little things that people are doing, what they can do, what I can do better. I listen to music quite a bit as well. I'm a big fan of cooking. Nice. So I'm in the kitchen whenever I can be, and I'll just cook something, and I've just got the music on at the same time. So it's just stuff like that. Love that. I mean, I was going to say, like, because of my 4 kids, so the 4 kids that live with me. Then I find actually one of my times to really relax, I'll go take the dog for a walk and I'll plug in a Diary of a CEO podcast or some really awesome book that I'm listening to at the moment. Or then I'll again go to the kitchen, cook, and I'm still achieving something. But I'm like you, I've got the book, that kind of just self-improvement book on in some way, shape or form. Really makes you think, and whilst that's it. I just get bored. I can't switch off. That's my problem. It's very hard. It is very hard to switch off completely. So I completely sympathise with you with that for sure. Nice. So, what's your history? Obviously we're building Lego here. What's your Lego history? From when I was a kid, used to have it all the time. I still can't believe how expensive it is these days. That's true. They're just bananas, but that's why you go on podcasts to get free Lego stuff. Well, this is it, yeah. So you told me, definitely on there. No, for me, Lego's always a little thing where you just build absolute nonsense. It never used to be there's something like as like detailed as this. It was something simple, or you get like little 4 bricks together, start building your own wall and your own houses and whatever else. I've never seen like, I've just made a saucepan with something. You know what I mean? I've never had that before.
I did think that was, at the time I was building that saucepan, you were talking about like the stuff that you do to create the emotion in the house. And
it shows how far ahead you are of me as well. So
it's
cheers
like
for that.
I'm there putting soup in the fridge and like get them washing up in the sink. Like, yeah, this feels like home.
This is it. And then Lego as well. I've grown up with. There's lots of us who are like cousins, all boys, and Lego then turns into throwing at each other, and having fights with it. So there's my history of Lego.
Fair shot. I know what you mean about the weird stuff that I used to build, because I used to build houses and things, but it used to be like one layer of yellow bricks followed by a layer of blue bricks followed by, and now it's, I've got mates who spend hours sourcing this stuff online to be like, oh, well, I needed more grey for my roads.
Yeah,
like,
this is it.
What?
Absolutely, like for me, it's a minefield.
Oh, fantastic. And so are your kids into Lego?
No, actually. They've never actually played with it.
Yeah.
So this will be a first for them, for sure.
So you bring this Lego set home, could be the start of a very expensive hobby.
Yeah, for sure. And they're at the age where they won't try to eat it or shove it up their nose or anything like that. So
nice.
Should be all good.
Fair shout.
Looking forward to it.
So with your reading and your everything, you mentioned about the gym before, but how do you find time to be healthy?
Again, it's wherever I can fit it in, I'll just do it. So with the girls, and when I go in the mornings, it's mainly because, again, for me, everyone's asleep, so I'm not interrupting, I'm not disturbing, I'm not doing anything. If I was at home anyway, all I'll be doing is stay in bed myself. So it's the perfect time to do it. And then healthy-wise, we're recording this now in January, so it's a whole new year, new me. So I'm trying to do things differently in terms of how I'm eating, what I'm looking out to eat. And it's just cooking, I suppose, because again, I'm usually on the go. I'm on the go quite a lot at work. It's only to find time to eat something. And if you get to that point where you're really hungry, it's eat anything. So if I can just meal prep and just get little things ready and just get it right for like today and tomorrow, it makes it easier. And again, I do it at home. Like I say, when I'm at home, I really do find comfort in terms of cooking. So it's an easy thing for me. It's an easy win to just cook a few things, get it all ready, and then just have it ready for work. So
nice.
That's it. And then, like I say, get up in the morning to go to the gym. It's come to a point where it's easy to get up. Like there's no struggle in terms of getting up. There's no, I can't bother today. It's actually got to that point now where I actually enjoy it. So yeah, it's awesome. Much easier.
I wish I was like that. I could, I go through spells. Like I had a personal trainer last year, and that was amazing. But then, I realised that they weren't holding me accountable, and then I got lazy, and got myself into a decent shape, but it just fell off a cliff. Yeah. And next thing I know, I'm back to smoking and doing it wrong. You're like, nah.
It's hard to start again after that.
It's just ridiculous. But I find that really interesting that you still have time to do all of this and you're meal prepping and stuff. But I also am going to be very interested to ask you this question in 5 years' time once your kids become more demanding.
Yeah, you're ahead of me, aren't you? So,
yeah. I mean, that's it, because it's like everything you're saying about trying, even the thought of me getting to bed at 9, like just so far impossible. Yeah. And so I tend to work, like kind of put the kids to bed. I'll put the little ones to bed about anything between 8:30 and 8 and 8:30, but realistically it's more 8:45. And then by the time you've got to the next bit, the older ones want to watch an episode of Modern Family or something like that, which we're doing. So next thing you know, they're going to bed at 9:30, and then your missus wants, you want to spend a little bit of time with your missus, so we watch an episode of Brassic or something like that. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, and by the way, this entire time when I've been doing all of that, I've been tapping away at my computer, trying to get little bits done. And then and then it's kind of 10:30 at night. I've still got 3 proposals to do. And then get up at 7 o'clock the next morning. It's a bit exhausting.
The thing is, I like to think I learn quickly. I'm not sure if I do, but for me, I've done that where I've got up late. I've gone to bed late and woke up early a couple of times, and I was like, I really don't want this feeling. I really don't like this feeling, so I need to just get up. So yeah, I've got to that point a couple of times, to be fair.
I think I'm just looking for excuses anywhere else but there, and just being like, well, let's solve this. So the book I'm reading at the moment is amazing. It's Ultra Processed People. I don't know if you've come across it. But it starts looking at ultra processed food as being a really, one of the things that's really driving issues. But it's amazing actually. Just changing my diet to try and eat less stuff that's insanely processed has actually already started making me feel better and go for longer. So we'll see we'll watch this space. I might just be kidding myself.
Placebo effect. Yeah.
Indeed. So, one thing I noticed that you did recently was you did a marathon. Why?
Oh man, everyone's gonna think I'm daft for this. So, the story of the marathon is I went to, I can't believe I'm saying this. I went to a networking group, and there was quite a few people in there. It's just like friends getting together basically. And one of the girls in the group said that she was going to do a marathon, and one of the guys then said, I'm actually going to, you know what, I like that idea, I'm going to do something as well this year, I'm going to challenge myself, I'm going to bike ride cross country or something bananas. And then one of the guys said, I'll join you with that, and everyone looked at me and said, what are you going to do? And I honestly had nothing in my head. I was like, nothing, like work. And then from then I was like, do you know what? I should do something. And when I first, it was earlier that year, I was meant to do a 10K and then do a half marathon the week after.
Wow.
And I said I would do it. And then I did the 10K and I felt that bad. My legs were in that much pain after. And I was like, no chance am I doing this half marathon. So I didn't do it. But because nobody knew about it, I didn't feel guilty. So no one was there to hold me accountable. So I was like, whatever. So I basically thought about it and I said, do you know what? I'll do the marathon as well. And it was in 8 weeks' time at that point. And the furthest I'd ever run before then was 10K. So that's, 6 miles? Something like that, 6 miles. And obviously the marathon's 26.2 miles. And I just thought, I'll do it. But I genuinely had no fear of it. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how tough it is. I didn't nothing about it apart from how far it was. I didn't know it was even a big achievement, if I'm honest with you. So I decided I'd do it, and then I started training for it, and the training was brutal. And I kept building up bit by bit. I had a plan in my head of what I was going to do. I picked up an injury about 2 weeks before, and I was getting massages, and the lady said to me, your ankle's swollen. You need to stop basically running for now, because it's got to that point where it's quite bad. And I just said to myself, right, the marathon's in 2 weeks. I can either still train and try to run as far as I can with it and just think it's going to be swollen and be all right with it, or I can rest and do the marathon and just have it swell up on the day or after I finished. And I chose the latter, so I said I might as well rest. So I did 6 weeks of training, 2 weeks of nothing, and then the marathon. And I got to what did I get to now? The furthest I'd run was 20 miles when I was training. I got to 20 in the marathon, and I was so excited. And then the 21st mile, my calf just gave out.
No way.
So I couldn't run on it. I could just about walk or limp on it, and I thought I'll be all right. If I keep going in a little bit, it'll be all right. And then after a while, I tried to then run, and I couldn't. So I was like, I'll just limp it now. Because in my head, I said, I'm either going to finish this now and limp over the line, or I'm gonna have to stop and do it again. And I was like, I'm not doing it again. I'm just not doing it again. So I just carried on going.
So, casting your mind back to 5 years ago, when me and you first met. Back then, if you went around Roundhay and Moortown, you'd see loads of Hunters signs. You'd see loads of Lindley and Simpson signs, loads of Preston Baker signs. And now...
I was going to say, where are you going with this?
Now, you see loads of Fowler and Powell signs. You see loads of Monroe signs.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jordan.
Yeah.
But what happened? How is it that two small, essentially start-up estate agents took over one of the most premium areas of Leeds?
I think one of the big things, or for us anyway, it was about knowing what we wanted to do and how we wanted to break into the market, and us having that personal touch was always been the main thing for us. And then getting into the community, getting to know people as much as we can, and as I say, trying to help as much as we can. That's always what we've focused on, and making the journey as easy as possible for all our clients. That's probably the main thing. But then, like, seeing people like Jordan at Monroe, and what he's done has been incredible. So he's mainly, I remember meeting him, he said that he's focused on the higher end market, because there wasn't an agency that was doing that or doing what he wanted to do from a higher end point of view. So, and he's, hats off to him, he's done that really well. And it's just having that focal point and just sticking to it and making sure that everything you do marketing wise hits home, and showing as many people as possible, and then getting the referrals, I suppose, off the back of it. When you speak to people and doing a good job for them, it's asking them to recommend you to anybody, or asking if they know anybody that you could help as well. And I think there's been a huge swing over the last few years now with regards to local businesses, small local businesses. And I think that's helped as well at the same time. I mean, for me, yes, there's Jordan at Monroe, and yes, there's us, Fowler Powell, but there's also Howard at U-Move as well, because he's another business where, yes, it's U-Move, but he still does everything for himself in a way. So whenever I see a board that's his, it's always a good thing. Of course, if it wasn't up against us, but it's always a good thing to see a board of his and of Monroe's, knowing that it's gone to a smaller business than it has done to a corporate. There's nothing to take away from corporates. It's just I prefer to see the little guys, but I think Monroe's getting to a point where it's getting really big now. But I think it's the smaller businesses like us where I do think there's been a big push to support and to help local, and that's what I think it is. And I think it's focusing on the service and obviously getting the best possible price and everything else with it, which is what's made us three, I suppose, stand out. And that's the reason why. Yes, obviously still see boards of everybody else as well. They do come up.
Do you?
You do. You will do for sure. It's just I feel like people want more, the service more than anything else now. And I feel like there's corporates where you can call them and the phone doesn't answer, doesn't get picked up, or you could call them and someone answers and they don't know what you're talking about, don't even know who you are. And I think it's that thing of wanting to call someone's personal mobile, which makes a big difference. So rather than having to call the office, people can just call me, or they can call Jenny, or they can drop a message in a WhatsApp group. If they need to call the office, then they can do as well, but it's mainly myself or Jenny that people will want to speak to. So it just makes it's that convenience, isn't it, that makes it much easier for them.
That is a huge part of it.
I feel like a person rather than a number.
That's a huge part of it. People do love knowing that they're speaking to the business owner. You know, we've found that, especially with B&I and the networking groups that we belong to. We've had it where we put business development managers in there or staff members in a group, and people don't want to talk to them. It's, you know, they want to talk to the business owner, and I think that's, you know, like that's something that's really important. And if you can continue to give that level of service, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's always the the plan, and it's trying to not phase it out so that it's just Jenny, but it's getting to that point where knowing where if you get me or you get Jenny, it's still going to be the same level of service. We're both exactly the same. We both want the same end goal. And I suppose we might have made a mistake calling it Fowler and Powell, because when you don't get the signature of the email with Fowler or Powell, then you're kind of like, who is this person?
Do you think that does make it harder for you to grow?
Not necessarily. I think if it's, because I feel like if someone knows us anyway, then they will want to speak to us regardless. If we can get somebody, I say cold, I don't like that phrase, but get someone cold who doesn't necessarily know us already, I don't think it made that much of a difference, because they won't even know that we were there to start off with. They could just think it was a generational thing, who knows? So I don't think it matters that much. But people who'd recommend us or refer us from knowing us personally would want us anyway. So that's how I see it. But yeah,
absolutely.
It's about how we can get out there as much as we can, marketing-wise, for more people to know who we are. Press on that way.
So, let's delve into that a little bit, because you are obviously incredibly active in the community.
Yeah.
And what we, in terms of you go out and you do your own, you've got your own podcast.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. What's the idea behind that?
So I've had that idea from when we first started Fowler and Powell, if I'm honest with you, because I really wanted to get out and about in the community and meet as many people as I can, without it being in like a weird way. I remember messaging people on Facebook, on their company page, just saying, I see you in the community, want to meet up for a coffee, get to know your business a bit more. And people thought I was strange. So it was, it's trying to, at the same time with that, get to know people, but give something back. So it's like, what can I do to help them? In what way? And yeah, just like, how can I do something that can help them? And I thought the podcast for me is getting to know local businesses, but it's also about putting them, I'm not going to say on the map, because that's not probably the right way of saying it, but it's more people knowing who they are and where they are to discover their business, to then want to use them themselves. And I feel like if I've got a platform where I can do that, then there's more people are more likely to then visit them. Like I did, the first one was with Bricklebanks in Chapel Allerton, and released it, and everyone was like, great idea, Levi, definitely support, love the listen, blah, blah, blah. And I got a message from someone, a photo that said, and it was a picture of them at Bricklebanks having a lunch, just had a great lunch off the back of Levi's podcast, blah, 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 blah. And that's exactly why I'm doing it. It's for people to be able to find and discover these other businesses that are around, know why they started their own journey or started their own business, what they got plans for in the future, and go and use them themselves. That's all it is.
It's one of the things I absolutely love. Like ever since I moved to Roundhay, Moortown area, and in the various, I started off in the the Miles Hills, and I then moved to the more Allerton Drive, and then moved deeper into Roundhay. But I've always felt there's a sense of community, and I think there's a big misnomer with community in that people don't realise that it actually takes work.
Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely fantastic that you're doing that, because, if you have that platform where people are looking, and, certainly the council aren't doing it, much as they will claim that they are, it's fantastic that you can give people that platform, and it must be so exciting for different business owners.
It really is, and I put it on Facebook, and my intention was just for people to see it so they can listen to the podcast. I had that many people telling me, oh, great idea, I want to be on it as well if I can be. Or I'm free on so-and-so day if you want to record. And I was like, I was not expecting that at all. So it was great to see that people want to be on it. Good to see that people are listening to it. And also great to see that people are listening to it and then taking action off the back of it as well. But I wasn't expecting that response. So it really is good to know that what I thought of or what I wanted to do is actually working the way that I was hoping for it to work. So yeah, for sure. And then I've got plans to get around so many people. I was going to do one a week, but the level of response from people, I'm like, do I need to do 2 a week now?
Wow.
So that's obviously, again, taking into, we're eating up my time at home, because it's me that edits it. I've not got anybody to do it. Because edit it, video it, record, like edit the video a bit, the audio and whatever else. So yeah, just eats more into my time at home.
Yeah, we're still sticking to our 1 a month plan, Felix.
Yeah.
No, like it's absolutely amazing. So is this more, in all honesty, is this for brand Fowler and Powell, brand Chapel Allerton and Round A, or is it more for brand Levi?
So this was the thing when I was starting off, and I was like, do I put it on the Fowler and Powell page? And I said to myself, I can't do, because it's not about Fowler and Powell, and it's not about me trying to promote Fowler and Powell. It's about me trying to promote the businesses. So it's more my way of getting to know the people who are in the community as well, and more about these businesses. So as much as it will elevate me anyway, because more people will know me and more people will see me and hear me and everything else, it's more about understanding what these businesses do to then be able to hopefully use them myself. And that's how it all started and where it's all stemmed from.
Nice.
Fowler and Powell people will see me and associate me automatically with Fowler and Powell because yes, I'm part of it, but the idea is that the community gets to know more about what's out there.
So that seems a really nice segue into the kind of world of digital marketing. So obviously, we are a digital marketing agency. It feels, I know, shock that, isn't it? So in terms of you, one of the things I find interesting is one of the first times I came across you was actually doing essentially the community stuff that you were doing during lockdown and getting businesses to do little video tutorials and stuff for each other. Yeah. And then I ended up meeting you and you were like, oh no, I'm very digital. I'm not digitally savvy at all. And I was like, what? You could have fooled me.
I still stick by that now as well, Rory, just so you do know.
So that was where my next question was going to go. Is do you still feel you're kind of a digital nomad, or not quite up there, or do you feel your digital skills are getting better?
I don't think they're getting, well, they might be getting slightly better, but they're not nowhere near what they need to be, I suppose. It's more, I've got the ideas, and I'll hear something, or I'll see someone's done something a certain way, and I'll think, oh, that actually looks quite good. I wonder if we could do this and change it in this kind of way. And then I'll try to research and see who's done it, or who might know how to do it. And weirdly, Jenny in the office knows a lot about stuff I never even thought about. So it's quite easy, but then I'll stumble across something in a podcast that I'll listen to or watch, and they'll talk about something. I'll think, ooh, that would work well, the idea that I had 3 months ago. Maybe I can bring that together now.
Nice.
Just stuff like that. So I'm not there myself still. I just get the ideas.
Well, that's it. Everybody has to have an idea, man. So, you've mentioned podcasts. Where do you tend to go to see these things? What podcast do you learn to find out?
A lot of it's estate agency focused, and it's stuff like there's one called The Complete Agent, which is a new one now. There's Property Porn Stars, which is another one, which Jordan's on actually. Jordan's on that one.
Oh yeah.
As a guest. What else do I listen to? Diary of a CEO, of course.
Nice. Love a bit about it.
Yeah, I find it so interesting. The main ones are, and a guy called Simon Gates, Opening the Gates to More Listings.
All right.
Like, his stats are incredible that he finds and can pick out for you, but as a person himself, like, really great guy, always there to help people and set up his business. I think it was about a year ago now, and he seems to be doing really, really well. So yeah, Opening the Gates is a great one. All he does is he interviews estate agents, just asks them about how they got into it, what they do differently, how this works, how that works. And it's, just a great podcast. So I listen to that one all the time as well. And it's just getting ideas from other people, what they've done, and it just put it into practice myself, seeing if it works, see what does work, see what doesn't work. I'm part of mastermind groups as well, again, with other agents up and down the UK, understand best practice, what they do. So it's just all of that. It's being learning based as much as I possibly can be.
That's so important, isn't it? In terms of just being able to, one of my big things that I take to is the older I get, the less I realise I know.
Yeah.
And there's something that's so comforting in that, because, you know, when you're young and you're like, oh, God, I'm supposed to be an expert in absolutely everything at all times. And then the older you get, you realize that actually, no, I'm very comfortable saying, I've got no clue.
Yeah, no idea whatsoever. So, yeah, for sure.
But that willingness to learn is the key. So you mentioned obviously quite a bit about the stuff you've done in Fowler and Powell in terms of video creation and bits and pieces, but in terms of actually getting your message out there, what marketing do you do?
We do direct mail quite a lot. So we send obviously mail shots to people in certain areas. Social media, of course, is a big one for us. And things like our newsletters going out and giving tips and advice for people as well, whether it be social media, whether it be email, and then even direct mail to a certain point, giving them a link to follow and stuff. So yeah.
Nice.
They're the main bits, I'd say.
Does it get really annoying when people like me text you back after getting a direct mail saying, no, mate, I'm not selling my house?
No. Those kinds of people I actually love, because I think to myself, they're not moving now, but they can do in so many years' time. So take them off the list for now, but it could be something interesting. And even the people that, I listened to a podcast and the guy was saying, for every one angry person, they get like 10 bits of business. So they always say that when someone angry calls them and says, stop sending me letters, I'm not moving, blah, 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 they're like, right, great news, guys, we've had our angry client now, so we've got 10 pieces of business on the way. So it's just changing the way of thinking, isn't it? Really, so no, it doesn't bother me at all.
That's proper more positive mindset mentality, isn't it?
For sure.
That's brilliant. I mean, I'm becoming an increasing fan of direct mail. I think as the digital space gets more crowded, that sending mail out is so important. But I had one that came through the post the other day, and I thought it was really funny because they turned around and they said, can we please take 10 seconds of your time? And the kids were stood in front of me. So I was like, right, kids, start the countdown. I'm giving them 10 seconds. Yeah. And they absolutely failed because their immediate sentence afterwards was waffly and not grabby. So I got to the end of my 10 seconds and I just crumpled it up and put it in the bin. And the kids looked at me as in like, you're so mean. I'm like, well, no, they asked for 10 seconds of my time. I gave it to them.
You got it.
Oh,
that's quite funny, that. Yeah, but that must be from like Wolf of Wall Street when he says, 6 seconds of my time, have you got a minute? That must be that.
If I could just take 10 seconds of your time to tell you about the most amazing stuff.
Yeah, I love that film.
That was my best Leo DiCaprio there.
Jordan Belfort, Leo, yeah.
Oh,
nice. For me, it's just one of those things like, in terms of marketing, I always feel like we can always get better. I always want to get better at it and just seeing what does work and how we can apply it ourselves. So that's what we'll always try and do as well.
Nice. And when it comes to picking your favorite social network, where would people find you?
Very good question again. It's probably going to be Facebook and Instagram are the main two, but it's needing to be a TikTok as well now. We've not set one. We've got a page. We haven't got anything on it, so technically don't have anything. But TikTok and Instagram.
I've had to delete TikTok
off your phone.
Yeah, because it's just such a time sink. Such great content. I've learned some amazing things and seen some amazing. Like one of my favorite bands at the moment, I discovered through TikTok. And
oh really?
Yeah, it was just and ended up. Like, I thought he was bigger than he was. Ended up trekking to Manchester to see him in a pub. And there's me and my missus singing at the top, like in the front of this pub. No one else is about. There's about 30 other people in this pub. And there's me and my missus singing every one of his songs back to him. And he stops halfway through the set and just goes, fuck me, you guys know every word. And it just carries on. And you're like, oh, I thought you were bigger than this.
Yeah. But I suppose for him, TikTok's worked.
Yeah.
Because it's great for him to be able to advertise and put his stuff out there and get someone who are like raving fans, as we call them now. But it obviously works. So yeah.
Oh, it absolutely does. And again, I do miss it a bit, you know, in the same way that I know that if I was to just load up TikTok now, I'd find amazing amounts of content that'd be really interesting. I just haven't got the time if I want to achieve everything I want to achieve in 2024.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like a black hole. You can literally just get sucked right into it, and then you just find yourself lost. I get that 100%.
Oh, I've done something wrong, Levi.
Oh wow, wasn't expecting that.
Oh, there we go. Right, okay.
You want to say you like the Lego Master?
Yeah, I've also can kind of spot it. Like if you've I was like, these windows were supposed to be slightly out of line, and I'm like, they're perfectly sync. I'm like, that's it's probably the opposite of what happens in your job, really, isn't it?
Should be, yeah.
Oh, awesome. And so, do you have any kind of like digital marketing gurus like Gary Vaynerchuk, Stephen Bartlett that you kind of look out for?
Yeah, Stephen Bartlett. I've never really followed Stephen Bartlett from when it was at, was it Social Chain? It's always been Gary V for me, and social media maybe not so much, but Tony Robbins in terms of what he teaches and what he talks about. But Gary V's been probably the biggest one. And then little things like I'll watch $1 Million Listing, and there's Ryan Serhant on there in New York, who's really good at what he does in terms of video. Like I say, I can watch stuff like that and just take little bits of what they're saying and apply it in some way, or just watch what they do and see how something can work. And for them, it's video content and just being in front of people at all times, because then people just keep seeing you over and over and over again. So stuff like that, really.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Awesome. I'm A, running out of questions, and B, I think we're running out of time. So I'm just sat here just like diligently building, just being like, oh, this is having a great time. But I think we probably should call it a day at some point.
Yeah.
But Levi, thank you so much for your time.
No, my pleasure.
Really appreciate you coming in.
Me.
We got that far.
You're further ahead than me, not that much. I've not got this bit at all.
I don't know. I don't even know what this bit is. I think it's going to go on the top here, or there. That'll be it, won't it? Because it syncs up quite nicely.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that.
But yeah, awesome. Well, what I'll have to do is I'll have to finish this at home, and you'll have to get your daughters to finish it for you.
Yeah. Hopefully don't lose no pieces and whatever else. But
you can take it from there. But thank you so much for your time.
Cheers, Rory.
Cheers.